trailer is for a movie called Above Suspicion. I think it was listed as a thriller or action, something like that. It's got Emilia Clarke and some other people, Johnny Knoxville. I can't remember who else. But apparently, this trailer also came out, or another trailer for this movie came out about a year ago. I don't know why it was held up or whatever, but this is a recent one that was just released on the official channel website. I think it's Madman Films. And I made the mistake of going down through the comments to see what people thought about it. And from what I understand, it sounds to me like maybe there's quite a bit too much revealed in this trailer. Someone even said something about, wow, that was a nice short film I saw, or something like that. So I'm like, oh dear, help us. The trailer is 2 minutes, 13 seconds, or the video length. And this is the original channel, the original source. So it probably takes up much of that. So I kind of have a feeling that I will probably think very similarly to what I read. We'll see. I'll probably still be interested in the film just because, I don't know, the genre seems like something I'd be interested in. And a familiar face, Emilia Clarke. So I'm going to go ahead and check those out now.
See these trees? They know what's gonna happen.
Oh gosh, is that her?
They know someone's gonna die.
Oh.
First time I saw Mark Putnam, I thought he looked like a picture in a magazine. But things go wrong. As things will.
Open up, FBI! Those are prescription.
You got a prescription for 1,000 Percocet?
That's the way the devil comes. He comes as everything you ever wanted.
It'd be nice to solve a big case.
There's a bank robber in the area. He's robbed 11 banks in 4 months.
Oh, this is a stick-up! Come on, move it!
Susan, help me bring down this bank robber.
I'd be taking a hell of a big risk.
Big risk, pay big money.
He lives with us.
You're surrounded! Come out with your hands up! FBI, freeze!
We did it, didn't we? You deserve a reward. You are the only thing that makes me feel like you get these things.
Hey, sweetheart, we got him.
Congratulations.
Ain't nothing good gonna come of that. Messing around with that goddamn federal cop.
I'm just gonna stay at your boyfriend's house. If you come in here, I'll break your fucking neck.
Case you can't!
Okay.
Why didn't you call?
I have a job, have a family.
But I need you to.
Since somebody burned down my house last night.
You don't blame me, do you?
I got $6 grand here for you. I don't want to see you anymore.
This ain't no way to treat your star witness!
God damn her.
Oh my goodness, y'all.
Snitch! Did you get her pregnant?
Yeah.
Traitor! What the hell's the matter with you? Fucking hell!
Wow. Okay, so yeah. They did show way too much in this. They basically showed you the entire synopsis. Well, not just, they showed you more than just the basic synopsis. They showed you pretty much every major thing that's going to happen in this story. And I mean, I feel like that really wasn't necessary. But now we know we know exactly what's going to happen. I mean, you kind of can tell anyway, just because of some of the beginning stuff. But all that other stuff just lets you know specifically the direction that this story is going to go. Obviously, we don't know how it's going to officially end up, but we know all the steps that's going to take us to that climax. There's not a lot of mystery here. I am not entirely sure why it was constructed this way. This is one of those movies where I do personally feel that way too much has been shown. As far as, so yeah, that's kind of a, there have only been a handful of movies. There was one other movie I remember specifically that I watched a trailer for that did the very same sort of thing. They just told you every major step up to the end, pretty much. And this has done that as well. So I certainly see what people are talking about when they complain about that, and I'm in agreement with them. That's unfortunate. As far as, so Emilia Clarke, I was impressed with her Southern hicky hillbilly accent. She sounded fairly convincing to me. She sounded like she was putting it on quite a bit, but I guess depends on where it takes place, because there certainly are some places here in the U.S. where people do talk that Southern, for sure. She sounded okay. She's not really my favorite actress. I don't really personally feel like she's that great of an actress, but she's a familiar face because Game of Thrones. And so, you know, I was curious to check it out. Now, having said that, I felt like that I would probably be interested to watch the movie, but as the story progressed and I know where it's going, I'm not interested so much because it looked, you know, she looks like she's the protagonist and she looks like she's going to basically be bad. She's going to have all these, she's going to do all this crazy off the wall stuff. She's like a Fatal Attraction, hillbilly Fatal Attraction type deal going on with her. So I feel like I'm not going to, you know, they're cheating on his wife. So already he's going down a pathway that's just like, oh, come on, dude. You know, I just don't really identify too well. I can't connect very well with people like this in movies and stories when they make the main people these characters that are doing some very not good things, not very good things, whatever. You know what I mean? I'd mentioned this before in some other things that I've watched, and I feel similarly about this. I certainly don't like characters that are Mary Sue's and perfect in every way, and that they can do anything and everybody loves them, and everything about them is so exaggerated and so wonderful and I don't like characters like that. I hate characters like that too. I like a character to be complex and interesting and certainly have flaws, but to me there are some flaws in characters that make them fatal flaws to me. Flaws to the point that I really just don't care too much for them as a character. And a lot of it depends on how the story goes, but certainly some of those flaws, some of those fatal flaws to me involve things like, you know, when people are cheating, and when people are involved in drugs and gangs and stuff like that. It's just not, I have certainly seen movies that involve that, some movies or shows that are really good that still have that in it, but there are other elements to the story or other elements to the characters or other characters within that story that make it, it makes it so that I can kind of get past those things that really get under my skin, because the story arc itself and other things involved is strong enough and powerful enough to keep me drawn in. Most of the time, that's not the case when certain, you know, like I've mentioned before, the thing about Breaking Bad, didn't want to watch it. The Sopranos, no interest in shows like that at all. So I have a feeling, I'm curious to see what happens. So I might read a movie spoiler thing about it, but I'm not quite so drawn to it as I thought that I would be. I thought it was going to be a different type of action thriller. But I don't know, you know, I might change my mind if it shows up on a streaming service, you know, comes across my TV on one of my streaming services. Maybe I'll play it while I'm working or something like that, and I can sort of follow along and see what happens. But already I don't like her character, and I don't like the guy's character. And when I don't like the characters, it's not much of a draw for me. But I don't know, that's just me. That's not necessarily a reflection on the movie. It might be a perfectly fine film. But anyway. Okay, there's that. Can't think of anything else, you guys. So I'm calling it quits. Later.